gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. Will forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means say nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can tell me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. And when you roll, your enemies they must tremble. Your enemies they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go high.
David Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
Son, you gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. Will forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means say nobody can hold me.
Right along. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to
Hold me sick. I will let them.
Wednesday on the ride. Hump day on the ride. How you guys doing? Welcome to the ride. As you're coming, go ahead and share up the thing.
Nobody can.
Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me well.
No weakness. Show me a lion.
And today we're in the super responsive car, right? I'm going to tell you guys about a new technology we just installed in this vehicle. Compliments Lois JJ. Yeah, give Lois JJ all the praise. I'll tell you guys about it all in a little while. Yes, new technology.
Enemies they must tremble.
It's called mood light. It's called mood lighting. We'll talk about it right after you guys share up the program. Share up the thing.
I'm a go-getter.
Hey,
I love
Barbara, how you doing? Big up yourself.
God. And I'm a kind.
Let me share. Hold on.
Put my trust in God. Put my trust in God. That simple means
Yeah.
nobody can hold me.
Wendy Ferguson, how you doing? Welcome to the ride.
Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold
I share. As you come in, just share the thing and say I share. Share it and say I share.
me. Can yo.
Share it and say I share.
Weakness, show me a lion. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are.
Hey, chicken.
No weakness, show me a
Big up yourself, Julian George, checking us out. Big up yourself.
them who we are.
Yeah, guys. So we installed this mood light, right? Basically, it kind of sets to whatever vibe you're in. So like if we actually like, what's your favorite color? And depending on what your favorite color, the mood light would just change to that. Like it would just automatically change to whatever color. So let me ask you guys, what's your guys' favorite color?
On this back.
'Cause that's gonna be the mood for the show today, right? So just tell me your favorite color. See. It just changes to whatever vibe.
Show them who we
What's your favorite color? Wendy, what's your favorite color? What's your mood for today? Pink? Let's just say pink. You feeling kind of pinky?
are. Who we are.
Feeling kind of pink?
When you roll.
Hey, princess, big up yourself.
Your enemies they must.
What's your guys' favorite color?
Enemies they must tremble.
Lydia watching the action. Purple, red, blue. What's your mood? Blue. Blue. Jane, you in a blue kind of vibe? Green. Yeah.
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Yeah, just kind of set the mood, guys. I'm just gonna set the mood and the vibe and the mood. Yeah.
I will survive.
Pink, yellow, pink, red. Okay. Let's settle with that. Today we're gonna go with red. Red win today, guys. Red win today. Alright? Red, you win today. Tomorrow will be another day. Okay. pink, what, or little blue, burnt orange, any color but green. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How you guys doing? How's your day? This is Home Day. This is Wednesday. It's a beautiful day on the outside in New York. Right before I came on, it started to rain a little bit, and then the sun just came out. Like, and at one point it was raining and it was sun was out at the same time. And I remember when I was back home, they say when that happening, they said donkey married, something like that. So donkey was married
Yeah.
yesterday because the sun was hot and then rain was falling. That was happening outside my door.
I just go hard, I
Yeah.
Mosh,
All right.
and I'm a kind.
It's
Mosh,
not next week. Next
Marcus, where's
tomorrow will be your
mommy?
day. All right. So guys, let's go with it.
Marquise,
Right.
where's mommy?
Let's
Give her the
start
phone.
the thing. Let's start the thing. Let's start the thing. Let's get ready to start the program. Good evening to you, Wendy. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's a red day
Auntie Eunice was
because
calling. I was
today
giving you the phone.
they are protesting in Grenada.
Auntie Eunice,
The unions are protesting in Grenada currently,
come.
and later in the program, later in day we'll
Auntie
post some
Eunice
of
was
the
calling. I was saying
footage
she take the call
from
for me.
the protests in Grenada today. All right.
Maybe, I don't know, mom
But
in the hospital,
today's
so I don't know if you
story,
can even,
guys, I want a little
you don't have
brace
to
on
stay on the
yourself
phone.
for that because when I got this note from at the time I didn't know who it was, right? So I got this lengthy um, message from a viewer. And at first, I didn't. I was doing a program. I was live in a program when I got the note, and I didn't read it at the same time. I read it quite later in the afternoon, later in the night actually, and I just had to stop right then and there and contact the person because I think the story was so touching, it was so moving. I really think that this whole story could be a whole. In order to show the full extent of what happened here, this needs to be like a whole movie, a whole project. So I contacted the survivor and asked her a little follow up questions on the stuff, and she did give me the okay to go ahead and post it. The story started a little something like this. It said, "Junior, I was molested by my aunt's husband from the age of 5 to the age of 10. Now, I later got to find out that the person in question is now in her very early 60s. She looked like 30 though. I tell you, honest to God truth, she looked like 30. I was surprised when she told me she was 60. But she is in her early 60s, and yet this what had happened to her when she was 5 years old continued to affect her so much that at present she is seeking counseling. I'm not going to go deeper into the story. I'm going to introduce her because she has so much to say about this story right here. So, everybody, let us welcome on the program. Her name is Jen. Jen, how are you?
Hi, Junior. I'm doing pretty good. I'm fine. How are you?
I am good. I am doing good. And I'm serious about the 30 thing, because I you don't look at the over 30.
Really?
Serious, seriously, Jen. Seriously.
I'm half of 60. I'm closer to 70 than I am to 60 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that comes as a surprise to everyone.
Yeah. I'm 66,
You're
really.
66.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
66. Yeah.
All right. So I want us to go back a little bit, Jen. I want us to go back a little bit because this story is a story I think everyone needs to hear, that needs to listen to. So let's go back, and I give you just go ahead and talk, and I'll come in at some points to ask you some stuff that I don't quite understand. But it's your
Okay.
platform. Let's go back to the age of 4, the age of 5. Tell us about your upbringing in Grenada.
I had a good upbringing, to be honest. I grew up as an only child, with my aunt and her husband. They took me from when I was 2.5 after my mom left us and went to London. Seeing that she had one son who was already grown, um, she took me to live with her because they had no kids with them. So I was like an only child. I had no, I have no recollection of going to live with them because I was only like 2.5 years old. But as I grow, I get to know who I was and where I was, who they were. First, I thought they were my real parents, and I have to say I wanted for absolutely nothing. I wanted for nothing. I always said, as I told you, most of my family thought I had this perfect life because material, when it comes to material things, I wanted for nothing. I had the best of everything growing up with them. But the other side was not pretty. No one knew what was.
Yeah. No, you just got cut off a bit. I'm not hearing you, guys. We're talking here with Jen. She just lost her audio. She's gonna regain back her connection to follow up on her story. But I want you guys to listen from the beginning. I know a lot of times people go in and out, and you come back a little later, and you missed up certain part of it. But it's important that we listen this story, Jen's story, from the beginning, right? So bear with us because I don't want you guys to miss any part of it. Humble beginning. She had everything that she needed. It's not like she was a kid that needed things or was on the road or anything like that. She was well taken care of, well cared for. But what transpired afterwards is the shocking reality. We're still working to connect with her. Um, she's trying to get her audio situated, her audio fixed, and we'll figure that out shortly. Again, guys, 718-701-5720. We waiting to reconnect with Jen. And let me tell you guys the topic, right? I'll read a portion of the excerpt from what Jen had sent to us. She said, Junior was molested by my aunt's husband. Jen, let me know when you kick back in. I'm not hearing you still. Just unplug your audio if the headphone is giving problems. Yeah. She had no idea what was happening to me. I remember the first time it happened. She said, I was in bed when my aunt started an argument, which ended in a fight. He escaped and he ran, and she ran out the house. Right. Hold on one second. Let me still try to rectify that situation with Jen. Jen, are you hearing me? Jen, your headphone is probably dead, so you probably want to unplug it. Right. In fact, I'm not gonna read her story because I want her to tell her story. She come back on and she'll share her story. Jen, are you there?
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
All right, Jen's still trying to rectify her problems, her audio problem here. But the story shall be told, guys. The story shall be told, and the story will be told today. Yes.
Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting to have Jen reconnect with us. And when she reconnect with us, she will share her story. I have the bio here, but I don't want to read it. I want it to come from her. I want you guys to hear it from her because this is one of probably the most touching story that you would hear on the ride. It is very, very serious, right? Very, very serious. And the other thing about this particular story, as Jen would tell us when she come back here, she had never really shared this story with anyone before. A lot of people who is seeing her here probably is shocked to see her because they don't expect or they never expect anything like that from her because of the life she lived. She was seen, and she would explain when she come back, as one of the envy of the village, of the area, publicly, but privately. What was happening?
Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody.
Yeah.
Energy, nobody, yo. Just show me some strength, no weakness, show me.
Still keep sharing, guys. Still keep sharing. We're still reconnecting with Jen. We're still reconnecting with Jen so she could come on and share her story.
No weakness, show me a lion tongue. Everybody's strength, no weakness, show them.
Doreen Marks, my aunt died on her husband.
Your enemy
Wow.
tremble, your enemy
Wow.
tremble. Yo, and when you're wrong.
You see? Listen, guys, you know the sad statistic? One of the sad statistic is, right? They said that almost 8 out of 10 Caribbean women, as little girls, are molested. 8 out of 10. Isn't that 8 out of 10? 80% women, let me see if I get her back here, from the Caribbean was somehow molested as a child. That is what statistics states. All right, are you back with us, Jen?
Yes, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. I know I'm not hearing you in the
Okay.
headphone. I'm not hearing you in the headphone, but I'm able to hear you
Okay. All
nonetheless.
right. Mhm.
All right, are you
Okay.
hearing me?
Yes, I
Right.
can hear you now.
Okay, just fix the camera a little bit. It's kind of cutting out.
Yes.
Yeah, just fix it, angle it so we can
Hmm.
see you. Right, right, right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Right, Jen. So I want you to go back again. Living a normal life, it was like
Yes.
no one could have ever. In fact, people that watching this program right
Absolutely.
now, they don't even know what you're about to say because you never shared this story to a lot
No.
of people before. It's never been public,
Mm-mm.
right?
No. No.
So go ahead from where you ended.
Yes. So I was saying I wanted for nothing. I had a very privileged life living with them as an only child. But the other side of my life that no one knew, my family, I mean, is a maybe the first person I told about this was my first husband when we were having problems, and I told him this is the reason why we were having problems, and he said you have to tell your aunt, you must let her know. You know, you can't be sitting there with this and not saying anything. You have to let someone know. You have to tell her. So we decided that we were going to her. So we went to her house and I told her. But you know, Junior, it's very difficult because then she started making it about her. Well, you know, I had to go to work and you know, I had to do this and I had to do that. And I said, yes, I know that. And I'm not blaming you. I just want to let you know that this is what was happening to me. You know, all the time I was failing in school. My grades, I had really good grades, and then my grades were dropping. I say, if you remember that, how many times you had to go to the school, you know, I said, you know, this was the reason when I'm not participating in class. I said, this is the reason why. And the teachers couldn't understand what was happening. I said this was the reason why. The reason why I never used to speak to anyone. I couldn't speak to anyone. I couldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't let me go to the neighbor's house, which you know the houses in St. George's were like on top of each other. And I couldn't go play with the kids next door. Even if I go, we used to have what we used to call a lookout. So one of the kids would be looking out for him when he's coming. And then they would let me know and I would run home.
Right.
So, right, because if he ever come home and know that I'm out there with the kids, he would beat me
Right.
when I go to school.
Let's go to 4 years, 5 years old, because you said in the letter that you sent to us that he started to do stuff to you that you didn't feel comfortable with from since the age of 5.
Yeah,
Right?
I can remember the first time it happened. Um, it was late at night, and him and my aunt started an argument, which always the argument always end up with a physical fight. And then she would run out of the house and go to a friend's house. And the first time that happened, after she ran out of the house, he crawled into my bed, came into my room and crawled into my bed under the covers. I know I was about 5 years old. And he started touching me and telling me, this is our little secret, and I'm not supposed to let anyone know, and this whole thing. And I had no idea what was happening to me. I knew it wasn't right, but I couldn't say, what it was. I didn't understand it because, I mean, a 5-year-old now can tell you exactly what's happening. In my time, a 5-year-old will have no idea. You just know it doesn't feel right. So that was the first time I know it happened. And then after that, it would happen like sometimes twice a week. He would pick a fight, and they would fight often. It was just until sometimes, and it used to get so physical that I thought that she was going to die. He was going to kill her. It was very, very physical. And he would do this to me maybe 2-3 times a week. Sometimes she worked late because sometimes she worked 2 jobs. She had a part-time job, so she would go to her part-time job. So she would come home late sometimes, and then he would do this to me before she get home, and I couldn't tell her anything. I couldn't say anything because he would threaten me, and stuff. So I couldn't say anything. I was afraid. I couldn't say, well, look, and I had no idea what it was. I didn't know if it was right or wrong. I had absolutely no idea. So I couldn't say anything. And if you tell me, well, that's a secret, then I have to keep it a secret. As my father, I would keep it a secret. So I
So
don't know.
a lot of people, okay, so a lot of people would say, well, did she know? Did she know? Like she would leave and she would leave you with him. Did she know
Yeah,
what was happening? She had any indication of what was happening?
I think so. I might be wrong, but I don't think she knew. I don't think so. Because I don't think she would know that he's doing this to me and she would leave me there. I don't think so. I think she trusted him. So I don't think so. If I say that, I'll be telling a lie. If she know, I don't know that she knew. I have no idea that she knew.
So you're saying that every time he seemed like every time he wanted to do something with you, he would pick a fight with her. So she always leave,
Yes. Yeah.
and then he
Because the
would,
fight become physical.
right.
Yeah. And real physical, really physical. So her thing was to run for her life. And she would run for her life.
You said you
And then I
said
couldn't understand. Once I remember asking her why she keep coming back. Because I used to want her to leave and take me with her and never come back. But as a kid, you don't know. You ask a question, but sometimes maybe the answer she gave me, I couldn't comprehend the reason why she keep coming back. Because I'm telling you, those fights used to be real physical. I have marks on my skin from, like, he would he would throw bottles in the house. He would break vases. He would do all kind of stuff. And I have marks on my skin where I get cut from splinters and everything. A real physical fight. So
the bigger question is why she don't take you with her too, and that just never happened.
that, and I never. And once I told you I was crying to go with her because I knew what was coming. But she left. And then after she left, he just slapped me across the face and said to me, "Don't you ever cry after her again." And I never did. Never.
Right.
I would just crawl into my bed when the fight starts. I would crawl and just curl myself up in the corner of the bed because I know he's coming. I know he's coming.
What about your biological parents?
My mother was in England. I didn't have, I mean, say I was young, so I had no connection with my mother. I know my mother left us small and went to England. So my aunt was like my mom. She was my mother. I call her mom. I still do call her mom. She's passed away now, and I still call her mom because she was my mother.
Uh-huh.
She's who I grew with. She's who I know. I knew my mother for the first time. I think I was about 11 when I first saw my mother. So I had no connection with her. I know my mother and her, they were sisters.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, I
Let me.
just love my aunt as my mother because she
Yeah.
took care of me and gave me everything. As I say, I needed nothing. I was very happy when it comes to that. She loved me. I know she did. Growing up, I know she did because she took really good care of me. I can say a lot of good things that, happened when I was small. The way she treated me, she would make my own clothes. We would go to church together. She would take me to the circus. She would take me like everywhere. She did a lot for me, a lot growing up.
Let me summarize. Let me summarize it for everyone that's watching right now, guys. Jen is sharing her story that she never really told anyone before. First time in a public forum talking about it. Because it's important to talk about things, right? I mean, she's 66 right now, and this has been affecting her. Hence the reason why she wanted to reach out to talk about this here. So the story is that she'd been living with her aunt and her husband. They live together, and he would oftentimes start an altercation or a fight together. And every time he started the altercation or the fight, the aunt would leave, Jen would remain, and then he would assault her from the age of 5, and that went all the way up to the age of 10 multiple times, right? As a young child, she was confused, not knowing. Her mother, what a lot of people was asking, her parents or biological parents, was not was in England. It was away. So that's the person that she know as her mom. She loved her mom, and the male figure in the man life. He is the person that has been in that as she know as somewhat of a father figure in her life. All right. Um, do you remember at any point in time, Jen, you would sit with your aunt and say, "This is happening to me, and I don't like it," or you don't feel right about it? Have you ever? Do you remember in your little young mind if you ever had a conversation with her and what her response was?
No, never did. Never. Because he would threaten me, like I'm not supposed to tell anyone. Because if I tell anyone, bad things gonna happen to me and stuff like that. So I never said anything. I never said anything to her. Absolutely nothing. Nothing growing up. The
How did
first time I told her about it, I was about 40, going 41. That was the first
right?
time I told her.
And I want to get into that because I wanted to. How did the abuse stop? At what point did it end, and how did it end?
It ended after she left and she went to the United States. And then I think how long did I think they sort of had a kind of separation before she left. And she came up here, but and then she sent me to live with some friends of hers. So I was living with these friends of hers. So that's how it all started to go downhill because he wasn't seeing me that often anymore. I used to go to see him every weekend. I used to go see him every weekend, spend the weekend with him, and then go back to the people I was living with. And it still continued there for a year or two until I think he left and he came up. She took him up to the United States. And that's how it all started. That's when it stopped. That was the end. That's when it all ended after he left the country.
Wow.
Because I was still in Grenada, and he migrated to the United States. So that's when it all ended. But even after that, when he would come home on vacation, he would try to do the same thing to me. And I'm saying these things because I want people to hear this and look for the signs because there's a lot of signs. When your children are withdrawn, they don't speak anymore, they don't have any friends. It's a lot of signs, that something is going on, and you have to find out what's going on. Withdrawal is one of the first things because they will threaten you and they would try to separate you from your friends. They don't want you to have friends because friends, you would tell your friends something. You're going to say, hey, look, so and so, because he's your friend. So no, you're not supposed to have friends. So I had no friends. I remember walking home from school in the evening And we was a whole group of us would be walking home in the evening from school. And a person that I met, and I told them, if they could remember, he didn't remember me, but I remember him. It's Patrick Phelps. We all would walk home from school together, but I would always be behind. I don't want to be with them. So we were walking home together, but not really walking home together
Right.
because I can't be in the group. Because if I'm in the group, I'm going to get a good cut off. So couldn't be in the group. So I would be behind them. And we all going home together. They would stop in the playground in Tantine. There was a playground there. And they will go there, but I couldn't. I remember one day I went to the playground and I was on the swing and I was having such a great time. And all of a sudden, he just showed up. I have no idea where he came from,
Mm-hmm.
but he just showed up. And immediately I left and I ran home. I ran all the way home. And I'm telling you, when I got home, I got it. I got it because I'm not supposed to do that. I would be in school having lunch with the kids, and all of a sudden he would show up. He would just show up because he's making sure that his secret stays a secret.
So
So
he
he would
tried.
show up
He,
wherever I
he
am.
tried
He would just
everything.
show up.
He tried everything to ensure that you didn't speak.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the threat,
Yeah.
ensuring that you
Yeah.
always in a space
It
in a
was like,
confinement where it always is he is in
yes.
control.
Isolated. Yeah. He would
Okay.
isolate me from everybody. The neighbors next door. He had family live next door. His nephew was a teacher at the Anglican school in St. George's. He had children. I couldn't go there. I could not go to the house. And there we were in one yard, and I couldn't play with his nephew kids. I was totally, totally isolated. So this
Right.
is the thing sometimes I tell people there are times when I just want to be alone and I don't want anyone around me. I just want to be alone, and that's the reason.
Yeah. Let's fast forward a bit. So this happened in your childhood. Let's fast forward a bit to
Hmm.
in your early 40s or when you were able to have a consenting relationship. How did it play into you meeting and dating and being in relationship with men?
It was hard. It was hard. At first, I dated men that was much older than I was, and I'm sure a lot of people knew that I was in a relationship with someone that was much older than I was. This relationship ended. I had my kids. My first kids I had. Relationships wasn't working for me. When it comes to the intimate part, wasn't working. It wasn't working for me. So when I got married, and I realized that it wasn't working and I was losing my relationship was going downhill. I broke down and I told my husband the reason why, because
Right.
he was badgering me. He wanted to know something's wrong, something's wrong, this is not normal, something's wrong. So I broke down and I told him, and he was in total shock because he knew him also.
Huh.
He knew him. So he was in total shock. He's like, "You've been living with this for all these years?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "And you have never told anyone?" No. He said, "You have got to tell your mom." He said, "You have to tell her. You have to let someone know.
Mm-hmm.
And you need counseling. You need to." Yeah. He said, "You can't live with this." So my mom was in Florida at the time, so we booked a flight. We went down, and I told her. But I don't know. I think she was blaming herself in a way. Um, she didn't know how to handle it. She did not. She did not know how to handle it. So she said, "Well, I couldn't take you everywhere I go because, I had to work and, I had to do that." I said, "Yes, I do understand. And I'm not blaming you. I just want you to know this is what was happening to me. This is what it was, So everything else, because as I say, I had everything when it comes to material stuff. I didn't want for anything, but I didn't care about it. I couldn't care. I did not care about it. I didn't care about all the clothes. I didn't care about all the nice things. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about all these things. I couldn't care because something else that matters more I was dealing with. So these things I didn't care. I would give them away. I would let people take it. I don't care what anybody do with it because that didn't mean a thing to me. It did not. Yeah.
Right. You told me something that was two things. The first one we're going to touch on is
Yeah.
you later reconnected with this man when you migrated to the US.
Hmm.
Tell us the extent of the relationship that you guys had when you moved here to the US.
When I moved here to the US, him and my aunt had really separated. They weren't together anymore. I think they were divorced and everything. And it happened to that I walked into um, the store and bam, there he was. And I was like, whoa, it was me and my daughter. My daughter was about 9 years old. And I was like, whoa. So I said hi to him, and I greet him just like everybody else because he was my dad. And, what
So when you
happened?
open arms,
I,
like hi and all that stuff?
yep. Hmm. Yeah, he didn't know I was there. And I said, yeah. And we chat. And he said, well, he works there. He was the head of security at Woolworth on Mamaroneck Avenue. I don't know if you know Westchester County. It was on
Mm-hmm.
Mamaroneck Avenue, right? So Woolworth, there was a big Woolworth there, and he worked there as the head of security for the store. So we talked, and I said, well, whenever I stop by, whenever I come to Woolworth, I'll say hi to him. He was always there at the door, so you couldn't miss him. He was always there. So I would say hi to him and my daughter, because I took my daughter with me everywhere I go.
Right.
So he happened, we were talking one day, and he was saying to me, oh, you always have your daughter with you everywhere you go. It's you and your daughter. And I said, yeah, because I can't leave her home alone, and I don't, I said I can't pay babysitter to take care of her. So anywhere I go, I would take her with me, which I was very lucky because where I worked, I could have taken her with me. So I would take her to work with me, and then the people I worked for, when they're taking their kids to school, they would take her to school. Okay, it wasn't far from where I live. So he said, well, and if you can't find a babysitter, you could always leave her with me.
I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
And I look at him and I was like, really? In my mind, really? And I was
If
like,
you can't find
okay.
a babysitter, he would babysit for you.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what?
Listen, I'm surprised. I'm
I'm
surprised.
going to kill this man.
Right? Hold on. I'm surprised at a couple of things. Weren't you upset at this man? Aren't you at this time like frustrated at this man, even to see his face?
But that's when the hate came back. He made a 360. That's when it all came back. And I was like, and when he said that to me, everything came back. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, really? So you want more from me to my daughter? And that's when everything came back. And that's when the hate came in. And I was like, I'm going to kill this man. I need to kill him. He need to leave this earth. I need to kill him. And I was like, man, I got to get this out of my head. I got to get these thoughts out of my head. I can't because I was so enraged and I was so angry. And believe me, Junior, if I could have done it at the time, I would have done it because I was really enraged when and I walked away. I hold my daughter's hand and I walked away and I never saw him again after that. Never did see him again because I stopped going to Woolworth and I tried to pass far away from there and to places where I would not see him at all. And still, I didn't tell my aunt about this. I still did not. But I was like, not my daughter because I'm going to kill you. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to kill him.
So
So I never,
up until this point, Jen, up until this point, your aunt still don't know what the hell happened.
nope, nope.
Oh, well, why?
Mm-mm. She
Why?
knew, she had no idea.
But why didn't you tell
I
her?
hang on to this and I told no one. I was afraid because first I thought she wouldn't believe me. And the reason why I thought that she would not believe me is because no matter what this man did to her, she kept going back to him. no matter what he did. She left and she came up to the United States and still took him up here. So I couldn't understand it. So I said, well, if I were to go tell her this thing, she's not going to believe me because she loved this man so much that she won't believe anything I say. So I said, I may as well keep it to myself. I may as well.
Did you ever tell her at all up until today?
I did. I
Okay.
did tell her. I told her. Yeah, I did tell her. I said, my husband made me tell her. He
Hmm.
told me, he said, you can't be walking around with this. You have to let her know. You have to let her know.
Tell us how. Tell us
So,
reaction. What you told her. What was her immediate reaction?
so my husband and I, we went to Florida because she had retired and living in Florida at the time. So we went down there and to spend, a mini vacation with her. And he must have told her, you know, in secret that like the reason why we came down. And it happened one night after dinner. We sat down, and then he said, Jennifer, I have something to tell you. And then I broke down and I told her. I told her, and she said, well, I can remember when so and so, and I remember I was wondering, why are you failing in school? Because you were so intelligent, you were so bright, and all the teachers had loved you, and you were doing so well. And then all of a sudden, I said, well, you remember when my grades were falling, and I wasn't doing well in school, and the teacher always have to keep calling you, and so they don't understand why. They think that, well, maybe I'm not studying my work, and so on. I did my homework, but my grades were failing. I say, you remember this? Because I had all this big dream. I had a huge dream that some things that I wanted to do. And everything just keep crashing on me. But I couldn't concentrate on my schoolwork because imagine this man in my bed tonight and then tomorrow morning I gotta get up and get into my uniform and go to school. And I couldn't concentrate on that. I couldn't. I
Right.
couldn't. I couldn't do my work. I was sitting in class, I was crying, and no one knew the reason why I was crying. They will keep sending me to the principal office to find out because I keep crying in school, and they couldn't understand why I was crying.
Yeah.
But I was afraid to say anything because I'm telling you, that man, he was high up in society. He worked in the Ministry of Finance at one time. Then he worked at the Coca-Cola factory as a supervisor. He played soccer with all these big guys on a Sunday morning. He would go to Tantin playing field, and all these guys from the Ministry of this and Ministry of that and who own hotels and guest houses, and they all would play football. And so no one knew what was going on in the house. No one knew. People had no idea, except the neighbors around knew that he used to abuse my aunt. But beyond that, no one knew.
This story seems so much familiar to our current story, and I think that's one of the reasons why you contacted us. And I want everyone to look and listen the particulars,
That's
right?
it.
Because
That's it.
what's happening here is a trend, right? This happened to Jen when she was 5 to 10 years old. Now, when I sit here and I say this sexual abuse that is happening right now, it doesn't just affect the child for now and then they get over it. Jen is 66
Hmm.
and it's still affecting her psychologically. It damaged her
Yeah.
psychologically, right?
It damages you for the rest of your life. People don't understand that. They think it's something that would just go away. It never, ever, ever goes away. Never. It's something you live with for the rest of your life. It never goes away. You're going to hide it. You're going to try to push it at the back of your mind. You're going to try not to think about it. But when you're alone, this is the first thing that comes up. When you're alone, when you're lying in bed at night and you're alone, this is what you think about. When you realize that your relationships aren't working and your choice in men are horrible, this is what you think about. This is the reason.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah. You
Uh,
could never have a good relationship with someone. You attract the wrong people. And you always fall for the wrong people. It's
Mm-hmm.
a terrible, terrible thing. It's a horrible thing, Junior. It's a horrible thing. And when I heard about what happened to this kid and her dad, it all came back. I'll tell you, I cried through the whole program. And I said, I have to tell you this story because this too many kids are falling prey to these men. And it's been happening. Some of them, their own fathers, some of them, their uncles, their brothers. It's just, it's people you know, it's horrible. And
Yeah.
this has got to stop. It has got to stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what you're doing. I don't think anyone else would have taken this up because I'm telling you, in Grenada, it's terrible. It's horrible. I mean, I could give some stories.
Yeah. We've heard so much of those stories, and that's why we dedicate this whole entire week
Yeah.
at looking at this thing in all sorts of different perspective, right? Looking at it from all different perspective and the damage that it
hmm
caused
hmm
on a
The
young man.
damage they cause. Yes. The
Yeah.
damage they cause.
You told me something that was again that really really touched me when you spoke about you wanted to meet this guy. Like you wanted to, after it was all said and done, you wanted to confront him. Tell us how that went.
I was going through counseling at the time, and my counselor happened to ask me one day, "Is this man still alive?" And I said, "Yes, he is." He retired and went back home. He's somewhere back in Grenada. And she said, "I think you should confront him. I think you should talk to him and let him know how much he hurt you when you were young and the things that follow this hurt." So she said, "Would you like to go?" And I said, first, I didn't agree. I said, "I don't want to see him again. I never want to see him again." And she said, "I think it would be good for you. It would be part of your healing process if you can see him again and you let him know because you're still living with this hurt." And I wasn't getting over it. No matter the counseling I've been going through wasn't helping. So she said, "You need to maybe go and confront him. Not be very calm, but let him know, be very firm and let him know what he did to you and how he feels about what he did. If he would admit that he did it and ask for your forgiveness." So when I tried to find out where he was, they told me he was in a home. So I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna talk to him. So I was in the process of getting everything ready and getting my flight ready and everything to go home. And boom, I got a phone call that he just passed away. And I was like, no way could this happen. No way could this happen. I said, are you sure? They said yes. He passed away last night. And I was like, oh my God. And that was it. I broke down. I broke down. I was like, I would never get over this. Ever. I would never, ever get over this. No way. No way.
Hmm.
So it just happened. I didn't. And someone told me, well, you should write a letter. And my counselor told me this thing. She said, sit down and write a letter like you're writing it to him and telling him all what he's done and how you feel and what it has done to you since. And I try, but I can't. I cannot. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't write that letter. I just can't bring myself to doing it. It's too hard.
And that's why it goes full circle because that's why I think it would be therapeutic to talk publicly on this because you kept this in for so long.
No idea. And I'm not too sure how most of my family would feel about it, but I couldn't care because I hang on to this for way too long. Because home everything is like, oh, it's a family secret. And oh, why you go in public and talk about this? And why did you do this? And it's all about them. It's not about you. They
Right.
don't see it to be about you. They see it to be about them because they think it's an embarrassment for the family. I couldn't care who like it or not because I need to deal with this. I'm in my 60s. I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. And I don't want to go to my grave with this hate in my heart. I don't. I want to let go of it and I just can't. I cannot.
Do you think if you had an opportunity to sit in front of him or to stand in front of him and express yourself to him, then it would have give you some sort of comfort in your heart?
I don't know, Junior. I mean, yes, and no. I think that the only way that it would give me some kind of comfort or some kind of a way that I can sort of let it go is if I could have talked to him and he would have admitted and asked for my forgiveness. I think maybe, just maybe, I might have been able to, but I didn't get the opportunity to, so I don't know what would have happened because I didn't get the opportunity to do this. I
Yeah.
didn't.
Well,
So I
Jen,
don't know.
listen, we're you're on a public forum. Thousands of people, more thousands of people would watch this over. He's even his spirit probably watching it. He probably lurking and watching right along because right along goes all worldwide. You have
Yes,
given the
so
opportunity. You given the
yes.
opportunity to confront him. I'm going to put you on full screen, full blast. I don't know. This is you. I want you to express yourself because again, this is going to be therapeutic. Talk to him.
Yeah. Mhm. Um, where do I start? I want you to understand. Do you remember the first time you crawled into my bed, came into my bedroom, crawled into my bed, and the things that you did to me? I sure you remember that. How did you feel? What were you thinking at the time? How did you feel as your daughter? Because you were my dad, as your daughter. How did you feel? What were you thinking? What was in your mind when you were doing this? Were you seeing me as your daughter, or were you seeing me as a grown woman that you're having a relationship with? What was it? And when I told you I wasn't comfortable and I didn't like it, but you did continue. Why did you? Why did you continue? Why did you do this? I want you to know that you disrupted my whole life. You took my life away from me. You took everything away from me. You took my future away from me. All the dreams that I had and all the things that I wanted to do. I had big dreams and I knew I could have achieved them, but you took that away from me because that's the only thing I could think about is the things that you've done to me. You destroyed my life. I tried. I could have gone a different way. I could have a really bad way. But I still hang on to those hopes and those dreams. And this is what took me through life and took me to where I am today. I'm a mother of three, I'm a grandmother of five. And this is part of the things that make me happy. This is what I hold on to today. And that's my happiness. Nothing else or no one else matters. They give me back part of my life that you taken away from me. I'm in that part, I'm happy. My kids make me happy. My grandkids make me happy. And this is what I'm holding on to, and this is what I'm gonna hold on to till the day I die. So everything that you've done to me, I still happen to recollect part of my life. I still get to hold on to part of my life by having my kids and my grandkids. So something can make me happy. I have some happiness in my life because without them, I don't know what would have happened to me. It's until I started having children and grandchildren, part of my life came back. part of my happiness came back, and nothing else mattered. So wherever you are today, which I hope is in the deepest pit of hell, I hope that somehow, somewhere before you die, you get to ask God to forgive you. I really, really hope so. I really hope you had to get happen to beg for forgiveness, because right now I'm still working on my forgiveness, and it's hard. I'm working on it every day. I go in and out, but I trust that one day before I leave this earth, that I can give you full forgiveness. I pray that I do. That's it. That's all I have to say.
I can't even say nothing after this. I want everyone to understand that that is the pain of sexual assault on children and the devastating lifetime effect it has on them. It doesn't go away, never goes away. It forever will be with them. Like we have Jen right here. Jen contacted us because something else ignited in her after she watched the program that we did that was happening to another young child. And it just came up to her like if it just happened all over again. And it would continue every time, everything, every smell I could imagine, everything that reminds her of that occasion, every time it would trigger something. So Jen have to go through therapy and counseling and assistance. She made bad decisions in her
Yeah.
life. She everything. So I don't know if this story will be a deterrent or some sort of influence your decision for my fellow for men, not my fellow men, because some men who are doing this are you probably really not human to be putting people through this. But for men, I hope her story
Absolutely.
act as a
Absolutely.
deterrent for the next time you're making a move on an innocent soul, a young person, and thinking you're just doing this and this is just for now. This is not for now. This is for a lifetime. It will affect their life forever and ever. Jen, I thank
It
you for
does.
being so
And
strong.
no one can tell me they can get over this. You never get over this, Junior. Ever. Never. Never. Never.
Yeah, yeah. I hope this was a
I'm
little.
happy that I can tell my story, because a lot of people have no idea. I know it's shocked a lot of people. It's going to shock a lot of people because they had no idea. As I say, a lot of people saw me growing up and having this perfect life. It was not. It was not. Well, thank you very much for letting me tell my story. And mothers, pay attention to your children. Pay close attention to your children. Pay close attention to your children. The signs are there. The signs are there. You just have to know the signs. It's there. Watch your children. Pay attention to your children. And it happened to both boys and girls, because I think that he was abused as a child. I think he was. And they say hurt people hurt people. And I think he was abused as a child. So you have to pay attention to your children, very close attention, especially today, because it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Yeah,
And Listen to your children. When they come to you, you listen to them and you believe your children. Believe them. I don't care what people say. Oh, children lie, children this. Believe your children when they come to you with these stories. Believe them and investigate it. Because they say there is no fire without smoke. You see smoke first before you see fire. Believe your children. Investigate. Keep your children close to you. Because the predators are there. They're in your house. They're in your house. They're next door. They're in the next apartment. They're in the house next door. They're family members. When you see the opposite sex paying all this attention to your child and giving them stuff and giving them everything that they want, before they open their mouth to ask for something, they hand it to them. Pay attention to that. Investigate why. There's always a why are you doing this? What's the reason? What's your aim? What's the objective? Listen to your children. The teachers. Everybody. You don't know. You can't trust anyone. You can't trust anyone with your kids. Don't trust anyone. Don't. Do not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Junior. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for letting me tell my story. Thank
No
you.
problem. No problem. I hope you
You're
were
welcome.
able to
Yeah.
reach the people who need to hear this, and we're gonna keep in touch
I
because
hope I do.
we
I
have
really hope I do.
we have another project to work on that we spoke about, which we will work on soon.
Yes. Yes.
We'll
Yeah,
talk.
I'll help you with that. I'll
Yes.
help you with that.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much. And thank you to your audience. And thank you everyone for your kind words, and your prayers and everything. And thank you for listening, and it's hard, but I'm glad I got it out.
Yes.
I needed to get it out.
Yes. We're happy that you did as well. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
in
you so
touch.
much. Thank you very much. Okay.
Bye bye. Hmm. Guys, that was Jen, and it was necessary that I bring Jen on the program because, as I said, we are dealing with a pandemic of massive um, potential to damage the humanity. Think about it like this: this is the potential of the pandemic that we're talking about. And we're not talking about COVID. They have a vaccine for that. That is not the point. That is not the pandemic we're talking about. We're talking about the upsurge of this pandemic, sexual assault against our young kids. Yeah, we have been seeing it. It has been an increase of 87% in Grenada from last year. So for this week, we really want to sink this in, that sexual abuse against children affect them for a lifetime. And not only their lifetime, their generation, and probably the generation after that as well. So to whoever's doing it, we understand that they say hurt people hurt people. We even had the opportunity to speak to someone a year ago, I believe. He sexually molested a child as well, and he came on and he was telling his story, and he said the reason why I did it is because it was done to me. Hurt people hurt people. But as I said, I want to change the narrative of that. Let's change it. Let us say it and word it like this: hurt people, help people. Because you was hurt, that doesn't mean that you have to hurt. Let us change the narrative. Hurt people, help people. Let us change the narrative. Let us help, right? Let us help. Let us help. For the men who are doing it, for the women who are doing it, because young boys get abused, sexually abused as well, you are damaging a generation and a generation and a generation. Please stop. We'll do everything that we could do, because we're very limited in what we could do, to ensure that we get this word out to everybody. And if there are situations that happening and nobody's looking at it, no one is investigating it, I promise all our media power is going to go behind exposing pedophiles that exist and continue. We are going to expose pedophiles who have been damaging our children's lives. I'm very serious about it. So, um, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of the program. Don't forget, right along is where everyone have a story to tell. And if you have a story to tell, we want to hear it. You could inbox us. You could WhatsApp us. Get in touch with us. Whatever you need to do, share your story. Everyone have a story to tell. All right. Also, I must say that we'd like to thank the people who support us, so we could continue to support others. We could continue to be a voice to the people who don't have the voice. We could continue to be the platform that makes the difference. Nobody want to touch this topic, and we will talk about it and we will highlight the situation. So, guys, we urge you to support, keep supporting right along as much as you can, whatever you can. Because let me tell you something, when we talk about the stories, the big companies, they don't like that. Nah, they don't like that. They would shy away and say, nah, you should be talking about what's in your press release. So we're not going to read press release. We are going to deal with people issues. So we need you to continue to support us so we could continue to investigate and bring these stories out. There's a link somewhere at the bottom there, guys. If you like what we're doing and you want us to continue to do this, whatever you could to help support the program. Call it paying it forward, right? That's what it is, paying it forward. Thanks to our producer, Lois JJ, Lynn, Gail, Kibbs, and Deanne Fraser. Thank you so much to all of our production team. Everyone on Team Ride Along, we say thank you so much. Our sponsors, our advertisers, also to Ariza Credit Union. Ariza Credit Union, thank you so much for being there and sponsoring our program. And Ariza is coming to New York. And we want to tell you guys about Ariza coming to New York. Excuse me. Ariza is coming to New York, and on the 18th. The event is going to start about 1 p.m. It's on CV 186, CV 186 Street. That's on the 18th in Brooklyn, New York, to facilitate general queries, new product sign up, new membership, small deposits, and more. Check out Ariza in July 18th, right there at Seaview. For more information, you can email events@arizacu.com. Your financial freedom, your future. Ariza. If you need if you have any questions on Ariza, again, you could always contact us right here on the ride. Peace out, guys. It was great having you on board. Check out from our sponsors and catch you guys again tomorrow. Peace out. Oh, I gotta say, I forgot. I want you guys to also subscribe to us on YouTube. This is the link to our YouTube channel. Go over there and subscribe to us on YouTube. Everyone, subscribe to us on YouTube. Click that notification bell as well, so when we go live, you get notification on YouTube, because we're going to be moving a lot of our program on YouTube too much problems Facebook is giving us every single time. So go ahead and subscribe to us over there on YouTube. Lois JJ is going to post that link at the bottom. Also, we have our own website where you could watch 24 hours of programming on riderslive.com. That's riderslive.com. You could watch us every day. Or if you're on a computer right now, this is the QR code. If you click that QR code, that's the donate QR code. That's the donate QR code. If you want to donate to us, you can just point your phone to that QR code, and it will take you to our donation page if you want to donate. That's the donate QR code. But riderslive.com. That's riderslive.com. 24 hours of programming right here on Ride Along Live. Peace out, guys. Catch me tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-382.
Yeah. You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine. Just to stay alive. That simple means that nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will let allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion come. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion come. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Not when you roll. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you roll. Everything has to happen.
Sing like the video. If I tell you I love you, tell me what you're going to do. If you are the oxygen I need to survive, I can't live without you. Oh baby, with your body, come tease my body. Daddy, daddy, da, tum tum, da daddy. Stuck on you, I don't need nobody. Daddy, daddy, da 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 da. Ain't nothing better than you, because I got my eyes on you. Ain't nothing better than you, because you make my days brand new. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. All I want is the best, of course. Give me that thing, come wine and pass. The way you me mess on me mind, no. I'm gonna love you today, not tomorrow. Some people they say the old oh, it's got to my brain, oh yeah. But loving you oh, is all I wanna do. Oh. You make me groove to the sound of the bass line. Whoa, to the baseline. Give me the groove, baby, wine, check my waistline. Whoa, check my waistline. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, coochie don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, coochie don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, coochie don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Yeah, like the Vito, if I tell you I love you, tell me what you going to do. If you are the oxygen I need to survive, I can't live without you. It's a special kind of feeling where you are running, baby. Special type of a vibe, and I feel like dancing, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, ain't nothing better than you, because I got my eyes on you. Ain't nothing better than you, for you make my days brand new. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, it don't go. Oh, yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go.